making a difference is really always in our hearts. Tell me, how many of you feel that you want to do something special for your parents as a just sign of thank you to them? And you will have, some of you will definitely have in your heart to do the same thing for our society, community, or even for the planet. Do you want to give back to your society? I know it, because all of us, especially in our culture, this is something that we have imbibed. We call it Samaj Runa. The way we have Pitru Runa or the Rishi Runa in our culture, we also have the concept of Samaj Runa. And this Runa, this debt, we want to repay. I don't know what is the EMI of this debt, but let me tell you, repaying brings enormous joy. One of my friends, who is also a change maker, he always says, I want to kind of leave this planet when I'm debt-free from nature and society. A very glorious aspiration, isn't it? But how to be debt-free? Where to begin? When I wanted to do something and I wanted to repay my debt, I looked at my grandfather's life. My grandfather, Krishna Mukunda Uzhalamkar, hailed from a small village in Marathwada called Uzhalam. It was a drought-prone village. They were quite poor and they did not have enough resources at home. So as a very young person, as even a 12-year-old, he started working in a library in Sakur called Balbhim Vachanalaya, and he would go there to early morning to clean up and set up the books for the readers who would come up. Balbhim Vachanalaya was like 10 miles away from his home. So early morning at 4 o'clock or 4:30, he would start, walk there, clean up the premises and wait for the readers to come. While waiting there, he started reading books, and that library became his gateway. He started kind of growing from reading those books. And here you will see him. He is with the founder of library science movement in India, Padma Shri S.R. Ranganathan. My grandfather was one of his earliest students. He not only studied library science, he became a librarian, and when he retired as director of libraries in Maharashtra, he started 5,000 rural libraries in Maharashtra. When I look at his life, it was so inspiring, and what samskar he gave me is to always think of giving back. Kaka, as we call my grandfather, always believed that whatever we have received from society, we have an obligation to give it forward. Doing social good or doing something was a moral duty in his universe. But again the question arises, where to begin? What to do? And here, my hat as a sociologist came handy. I'm a sociologist by training, and after working for about 20 years in media as well as in corporate sector, this doing social good brought me back to the social impact sector. I wanted to do good, and I started looking, how do we understand this social impact sector? Let me decode it in just few minutes for you. Social impact sector, where we do initiatives for the social good, primarily rests on 3 pillars. These 3 pillars are donors, those who bring resources. These donors could be individuals, philanthropists, family houses, even INGOs, that is international NGOs, or sometimes even the governments bring in funds. And also corporates bring in funds. And then there are implementers. Implementers are do-gooders. They want to actually convert that vision into reality and do good on the ground. This implementer ecosystem has multiple players, NGOs, academia, researchers, consultants, many startups that are actually founded for doing social good. They become the implementers. And the third and the most important pillar, you see, are the scale agents. Because just doing good is not enough. That doing good in one place should reach to thousands and millions of citizens who really want to change their lives. And the scale agents are usually 2 pathways. One pathway is to change through policy. You do something good in one community, learn from there, understand the impact, measure and do the assessment, document the learnings, and take those learnings ahead into the policy framework, then the government adopts it and takes it to the citizens. The policy pathway of doing the scaling up is like a river. It flows and reaches several citizens, lakhs and millions of them. So the population scale impact can be achieved. And then the other pathway is through market. When a product or service that is really good from this social good comes up, a startup or somebody in the market picks it up and offers it back to society, and the community pays for it. These are the two pathways of scaling up. But then again, where does one begin to do social good? So whenever I meet people who have time and resources and network and are really interested in selecting a social initiative, I have my own framework. I call it the traffic signal framework. And this traffic signal framework I use, and I create this understanding of the three kinds of problems. The red problems are the most difficult problems. These are the deep systemic challenges in the world. And then there are green problems. These are easily solvable problems. For example, say adoption of solar. Earlier, we had to push people to use it. But nowadays, if you have resources or if you have inclination, you can actually adopt a solar solution. So it has now become a green problem. But between the red most difficult problems and the green problems that are relatively easy to solve lie the entire domain of yellow problems. Yellow problems are the ones that definitely have a solution pathway. They are not unsolvable. But how does one actually search a yellow problem, and where did I learn about these yellow problems? So when in 2022, I started working at Deshpande Foundation in Hubli. It is a place-based NGO in Hubli, founded by Jayashree and Desh Deshpande. I went to work with them and I tried to understand what are they doing on the ground, making difference in thousands of lives of farmers. One of the initiative of Deshpande Foundation was Deshpande Skilling. In Deshpande Skilling, so Jayashree and Desh Deshpande have started this Deshpande Skilling for rural students who come from farmers' families. They want to learn in something in 4 months and become employable. And Deshpande Foundation helps them do that. When I asked Desh, what kind of students you select? You are not selecting the topper students. You are not selecting the students that are failing. Who are the students that you are selecting? Desh said, these are all yellow zone students. I like to solve yellow problems. The yellow problems give you easy and quick wins. They need your energy, and with a little bit of effort, they get solved. For example, the students who was earning say 60%, with this 4 months of training, they could get a job in the real market. From Desh, I learned the idea of yellow problem. The yellow problems are not only the quick fixes or the easy nudges. The yellow problems really have a solution pathway and they can get easily solved. It is very important when you are a beginner to join hands to a yellow problem. That doesn't mean you let go of the red problems, but you use the energy that you gain from solving yellow problems to then approach to the red problems, which are relatively difficult. Many of my social sector friends then ask me, what do we do with the difficult red problems? I always say a combination works. Currently, while associated as a pro bono, being an advisor to Savitribai Phule Ekatma Mandal, which is in Marathwada, I realized when an NGO selects problems that are yellow and some problems that are red, even that combination works very well. Because what you gain from the yellow problems, the solving the yellow problems, you gain energy and you can use that energy then to address the red problems. The red problems are not solvable, but they require personal passion, personal compassion and deep caregiving. That deep caregiving is sometimes very difficult to pledge. So, As a sociologist, I came to the conclusion that when you want to start, you can start with yellow problems, and I can give you many successful examples. For example, if you look at Amul as an experiment, Dr. Verghese Kurian did not start to solve the red problem of malnutrition, but he tried to address a yellow problem that was faced by the farmers in Gujarat, created cooperatives, and through the cooperative movement addressed the yellow problem. Today Amul has such a big brand value and it has a market facing solution. It is scaled up so beautifully and so well. Many such examples one can learn that when there is a clear solution pathway, you can actually get an energy by solving those problems. When one faces very difficult problems, I always again think of my grandfather. See, he came from rural Marathwada, studied library science, became the director of libraries. He could have done many things, but he also broke down the solution in various parts. And the smallest one, that was actually where he could provide a solution, he did his best to do that. I think all of us, we can also find out what is solvable around us and give our real energy to that and solve it. So whenever someone asks me which problem to take up to solve, I say, don't look at the green ones, they are solvable. Don't look at the red ones in the beginning. You solve them later because they might frustrate you on the way. But begin with yellow problems because solving them makes you really optimistic, and that's where hope to repay our debt to society actually resides.